Pax Dei is a wonderful new MMO. It has survival elements. You can build housing in the game world, and even though the game is actually at a very early stage, it's in early access, and there's lots and lots of features missing. It won't really be ready for a good year or so, perhaps even longer than that. It's still a lot of fun to play, and I sometimes enjoy just wandering around the world, seeing the housing, seeing what people have done. And here's a good example of something where you can sort of be running along, running down a path, and then you see something in the distance, and as you get a bit closer you see what it is, and it's quite an impressive structure, quite an impressive building. So this video is my attempt to just share some of the delights of Pax Dei's housing, some of the housing that I've discovered on the server where I'm currently playing the game, to let people see what you can do with the housing and what it looks like. So these people here, they've created quite an impressive looking castle. I think this will be a guild, this will be a group of people who've done this. One person, you can, oh look, there's something else on, if you look at the right, at the top right in the cliffs, there's sort of something on the cliff face too. That'll be a separate structure, but this is one big structure, and one person could do all this in theory, but this won't be one person, this will be a whole group of people. They'll be sharing this space, living together in this space. I imagine you might have one or two people who've been doing the building, and then oh look at those hearts, white hearts on the wall, quite a nice little painting or decoration there. So one or two people have done the building, and other members of this guild or this community, I guess there's one there, that guy jumping around, they'll be doing other stuff, gathering materials, or just not bothering with housing. They might be doing hunting, they might be doing loads of PvE, going into the PvP area, which is currently in Pax Dei, the state of the game. There is a lot of PvP going on. They're going to introduce more of that to come, but there is some PvP. So other people might be doing other things, and the people who enjoy the building have been doing the building. I like this. This is impressive, isn't it? They've got a big sort of square, an open area. Clearly some of this is sort of a decoration. You can make an area in Pax Dei, a castle or housing area. You can make it functional. You can have it do this. Look at this. This is nice sort of community area. You can make it functional without doing all of this. You don't need this. You can have the storage. You can have the crafting stations without bothering with all of this. That well does have a use. You can gather water from that well. But somebody's really made an effort. They've put a lot of time and effort into this, or a group of people have, and I think it's paid off. I think this looks nice. Look at the decorations on the wall here. So this is, I don't know what this is exactly. This looks like it might be a sort of a church. Religion is going to play a role in Pax Dei. It's going to feed into the PvP system, but equally this could be sort of a guild hall area where the guild leader or an officer stands up there, makes a speech, and the guild members sort of sit down. I think this is quite good fun. Like, even if really you're doing it on Discord and people don't even need to be in the game, it just adds to the sense of the idea that you're sort of a community, that you're all in it together, where the other players are physically in the game and are listening to the speech. So I'm seeing if I can get up and I think I was trying to get a good view of the rest of the area to see how there's a separate house there. That might be, it's quite close. That might be from the same guild, or it might be just somebody who's chosen to build nearby. I don't know. But so you can see the crafting, and that's sort of smelting areas for making ingots. There's a tannery area for making leather. So yeah, that was nice. That was interesting. Here's a area where you have what appears to be lots of different people have made their own smaller homes near some water, which is a favourite place to build. You don't actually need, well, you do need water in the game, but you use wells to get the water. Living next to a river at this point doesn't give you any advantage as far as I can see. It's just a nice area. It looks nice, although I think there are plans in the future to introduce sort of boats and all the rest of it, but and fishing, but at the moment there's no fishing in the game. And so here's an area too where people are, I think, separate people, like there might be smaller guilds or even larger guilds, and just individuals who have all chosen to make theirs a sort of work in progress there. who have all chosen to make their homes in the same sort of area. But that builds a bit of a community, and when trading, you can trade with people now in the game, but when trading comes in properly, players will be able to set up and run their own shops. Being part of a community like that, being near other players, even if you don't know them, will be helpful, because hopefully other players will be trading, they'll be making stuff or just gathering materials that you use, or you can gather materials and make stuff that they can use. You can sell to each other. Maybe you don't want to do any crafting or gathering, you just want to do combat, but from PvE you can get certain materials and resources that enemies drop, which only come from PvE. There's stuff that only comes from PvE, and you can sell that, hopefully. There's an interesting looking castle. Oh, sorry about that, I got something beeping. There's an interesting looking castle in the background, and as time goes by, the aim in this game is going to be that players will form their own nations. They will sort of form their own factions, which will be able to fight other factions, and I think it's going to be pretty much up to players how they do this, like who is in each nation. It will be possible, I think, and we don't quite know this for sure, to be at war with somebody who is your next door neighbour, but probably not. Probably people aren't going to do that. I suspect you're going to find people will band together with their neighbours and will go to war with people in the neighbouring region, or maybe even a region that's some way away. Or because the regions, I think, in this game are actually divided into provinces, so a province is like a smaller region, so maybe it's going to be run one province versus another province. Maybe you'll get nations that actually include people in more than one province, but who you're with, those houses that you see are going to matter. When you're at your house and you're looking at somebody else's house, it's going to matter. Are they potential friends? Are they potential enemies? Are they potential trading partners? And of course, in the long run, I suspect people are going to want to live, near their friends. But people are going to want to PvP. They're not going to want to avoid PvP, but you'll get people sort of grouping together for protection and fighting the people who live on the other side of the mountain. So this is quite nice. This house has a lot of space, could do with more lighting, but an issue with some of the properties, once you go inside, they're a bit dark, the ceilings are a bit low, but not in this case. It made somewhere with a nice high ceiling. Here's the view from the distance at dusk. I like the way houses are lit up at night. It looks quite nice. Here's a specific individual house. It looks nice, I think. I like the lighting. I just like the look of this. This is in an area which actually I go to quite a lot because I happen to know there's a lot of good gathering to be done here. I do cooking as well as combat. I like doing cooking. And this looks very nice with the river in the background, and here we have some more water. But yeah, an area with cooking, an area with resources you can gather for cooking, vegetables and various herbs, and some houses to look at. Now, this is quite nice. First of all, it's on its own, and it's always fun when you go to an area and you're not expecting to find any people, but somebody's just built a little house there on their own. This is also nice. So this is a collection of houses. We're getting attacked here by some boar, but actually that's okay because I need the resources that they drop. So this is like a little village. So I think, and I might be wrong, but I think this also is a guild. But instead of building a big castle like a lot of people do, like a sort of very impressive guild castle, they've built a guild village. Like people have their own little houses, I guess, or maybe they're shared houses. They have this nice area in the middle. This is a tree. I think I'm trying to remember because I filmed this bit of film earlier. I tried to chop down the tree. I wasn't really trying to destroy their tree. I just wanted those beehives, obviously, which are useful. You can gather honey. I just wanted to see if it was a real tree or a decoration, but it is a real tree. And in theory, you could chop it down, but I don't chop it down. That would be horrible. Although I think I was kind of tempted to. But this looks like a nice area, and this is another way of doing it. A nice little village feel as opposed to a big, look at us, we built a big castle feel. But again, this will be a guild, and there's tailoring area. There's a level working area. So they've got the crafting stations there, smelting up there, and this I think is cooking. Yeah, this is these are various cooking bits of equipment here. So it looks like they're sharing. There's sort of brick making guild. It looks like they're sharing crafting stations, and that's really nice, and it's a little bit different. You can do it. There's nothing in the game to stop you doing it, but just, you know, lots of people prefer to build big castles. That windmill, by the way, is useful. You can put various grains in the windmill, and it creates different types of flour which you can use in baking. Food is really important in this game because food really buffs your stats. It makes a big difference. So food, drink, brewing, wine, beer actually matters a lot. Obviously all the other crafting does too. It's got alchemy to make potions, leather working, cloth working, armor smithing, weapon smithing, carpentry, all the stuff that you'd expect in a MMO with a big crafting element. It's not all about housing. People sometimes get Pax Dei a bit wrong. They sort of think it's all about housing. It's not. But housing is just part of it. But the community is part of it. And the housing is part of the community. This looks nice just from the distance. These houses in the distance, yeah, lit up. A little bit of fog. Yeah, I like it. I like this game. It's got a long way to go, a huge amount of work still to be done. It's nowhere near ready for release, but it's got a lot of potential. And there are survival games, obviously, but I don't know if any, like maybe sort of Worm or whatever, but I don't know if any sort of really polished, sort of massively survival type games. Here we go. Here's a view from the cliff and looking down on people's houses. Thank you very much for watching this video. This is Pax Dei. This has been Palmer. Thank you very much.